Hello and welcome to Too Fast, Too Forever. There's all kinds of family. We chose this one. This is episode 287, F9, Lap 12. I'm Joey Lewandowski.
I'm Joe too, and this episode's brought to you by Resurrected Diesel Performance. Their mission is providing you with the build of your dreams from a team you can trust. Shout out to Panama City Beach, Florida's Resurrected Diesel Performance.
Well, shout out to Resurrected Diesel Performance and welcome to Too Fast, Too Forever. It's a sad moment, Joe. This is the final, for now, Fast and Furious movie that we are talking about with Ms. Montez. Hello, Montez.
Hello. I've been trying not to think about the fact that this is the last.
It came up on us quick. It hit us fast.
And furious.
I mean, you'll be back here in 3 weeks giving your rankings. Make sure we don't need your rankings tonight. We need your rankings in 3 weeks, the tune-up. Okay. You're also going to have some other homework. There's going to be some other things you're going to be watching for the tune-up, so I hope you're ready for that, too. I'll give you that information offline, as the kids say. But you have now, currently, fully, completely seen every Fast and Furious movie in the franchise.
Yeah. Is this the very first one that I've never seen any parts of?
Do you feel like a different person?
Do I feel like a different person? No, I don't. I still feel like the same person.
Will you feel like a different person after you hit us with that sweet, sweet Montez Minute?
God damn it.
Do it.
All right, here we go.
It's the last time.
It's the last time.
Once more feeling. Well, no. She's going to have to, when she talks about Fast at 10 with us, she's going to have to do the Montez Minute, but that's months from now, so she's going to have to remember this. It's going to be even worse.
She's definitely not remembering.
Definitely not.
No,
Montez,
no. I'm going to keep my notes, okay? All right. I'm not even going to say what movies these are, because...
Where are you going to store all your notes? Do you have like a giant box for them, or...
I have a notebook. Just one notebook.
Did you guys see that tweet from Ice-T this week where he just said, "I do not give a flying fuck about fonts, weirdo shit"? Like, I'm just thinking about him looking at Montez's handwriting, all right, this is a font I could get behind. It's huge.
Yeah.
My font, okay. It's not that big.
Literally everything that we've talked about on this podcast is counter evidence to that.
That's true. I feel like I always have more notes in my head that I just never put on paper.
And then when we're like, Montez, here's something, you're like, that's all my notes.
I get sidetracked. Okay, Brian meets Dom and tries to take him down when we realize that he wants to be part of the group, part of the fam.
Okay.
All right. And then in the second one, Brian decides that he wants to be his own Dom, and he recruits his own team with Roman to take down my least favorite villain, Carter Verone.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, okay, good job.
Then somehow Brian gets into the FBI, is still in the FBI. I don't know. He tries to make amends with Dom and Mia. It doesn't work out too great. Everybody still kind of hates him. 5 is the Brazilian-Italian job. Here's where we start going downhill as per usual. 6 is Dom and Elena bond over their shared grief of dead lovers, but then surprise, Letty's not dead. 3 is Tokyo, drifting, montage.
40-year-old teenagers.
7, Letty gets her memory back. Dom almost dies. Brian and Mia quit the family to go have their own family. And then Brian also dies in real life.
Oof.
8, Shaw saves the baby.
Yes.
Not Dom. Dom pretends like he saves the baby. And then in Hobbs and Shaw, it's literally just one giant pissing match.
Interesting.
Pretty decent.
Yeah, I would agree that it goes downhill after 5 because you suddenly just started describing one scene. But, I guess that's how the Montez Minute rolls, so I appreciate it.
That's how we roll.
Joe, I don't know if you felt this way this time, but I felt like I have not seen this movie in particular in a long time.
That's funny because as we're driving home, Rachel goes, "I feel like we just watched F9."
No, I don't know. I was just like, it feels like I haven't seen this movie in a year. I've seen this movie 9 times in 22 months.
Yeah.
So have you. But
yes.
Every movie, I'm just because between the minute, the first 2, obviously we've covered a billion times or whatever, and even 7 and 8, I'm just we've done this before, and then this, I was just this is new. It's not new. It's very clearly not new, but it felt new to me, and I don't know why.
It definitely felt like we haven't watched it in a while to me too. I
But
knew
it's
that we
equidistant,
had.
right? Like the math, like it's impossible to watch this any slower.
Pretty much. But I agree with you. Like when I was watching, I was like, "Oh yeah!" Like, and I was like catching some new lines and stuff. I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." I was fully focused on something completely else while we were watching this movie.
Oh well, okay,
No. It's appropriate and like it fits. It's like it's on par. I think we had to start out with like setting the mood here. That we got some recent news on Twitter.
We got recent news on Twitter.
Brie Larson's character is Mr. Nobody's daughter.
Correct.
So that had major implications in this movie for me.
I didn't even... So yesterday, I watched this movie today. Yesterday, I was like, I'm going to watch the trailer for 10 before 9, just to like think about the movie differently. Didn't do that. Still thought about the movie differently, apparently. I'm just like, I don't remember this movie. Yeah, I should have, because I forgot. That's the thing I forgot. How much Mr. Nobody's in this, because in my brain, I'm just like, he's not in the movie, he's on the screen in the beginning, and like he never shows back. But that's the whole thing in the middle with him and Han.
With Han, yeah.
When Mia and Letty are tying Han to Mr. Nobody via Giselle, like they're just guessing, and like I don't know if we're supposed to assume that that's like fact.
I mean, also they're sitting outside of a noodle shop. She looks up and just happens to be right in front of Han's house in the middle of Tokyo. Just like, you know,
well,
like
she sees a Mexican flag, and
away.
She's like, "There's only one man in the world who that could be." That's our boy Han.
But as I was watching this, I had major thoughts of like I always thought and pitched that 8, 9, and 10 was going to be like a trilogy, like an arc situation, kind of like 5, 6, 7, right?
Well, no, 9, 10, 11. You were saying not 8, 9, 10, 9, 10, 11.
Either way, but like this is going to be like 9 would have been like the start, or it involved in this, leading into 10 heavily. So
which honestly we didn't talk about, but you had 4, 5, 6 was the original trilogy, 9, 10, 11, 10 being 5 part 2 proves your point even more.
Oh yes, exactly. There you go. Thank you. But I'm thinking now, as the news comes out that it like reports from people like in the movie, like involved with the movie, that Brie Larson's character is going to be Mr. Nobody's daughter. I'm thinking, what implications does that have to 10? And I had like a specific thought that is a possibility, but it kind of like spirals downwards after that. So Mr. Nobody is gone. Is there a possibility that Dante kidnapped Mr. Nobody?
Sure.
Wouldn't that make the most sense for like the plot of the next movie?
I guess the question would be why, because he wasn't.
We don't know why, but I'm
with
saying like
them in 5 when they faced off against Dante's dad.
It would be very convenient, though, right? Like,
sure,
that would be the reason why they go to fight Dante to get Mr. Nobody back, which would make Brie Larson on the reciprocal, like to continue down this rabbit hole, that she would have to instantly be a good guy, like working with them to get her dad back.
Well, so she's playing. I'm thinking. So it's her dad. She's also government, right? What was the thing? What was the exact thing that we saw? Because like Montez, you know about any of this? Did you see any of this, Montez?
I've been trying not to look at anything about 10. I've been trying to go into 10 completely blind, aside from that one time that I watched the trailer, and then I still had no idea what was going on. So I just, blanked it from my mind.
But we saw in the trailer that we assume or kind of think that she's like on Dante's side. So that would make...
I don't know. I'm not with you.
That's what I'm trying to work out mentally, and this is why I want to talk to you about it, because I'm trying to figure out like... And there was also some kind of thing, I don't remember the exact wording, but it was like, she's unhappy with where this was going.
The quote is, Tess, this is what she said to Total Film Magazine. Tess is Mr. Nobody's daughter. She has technically agency, with a capital A, but she's kind of a bridge in a way. She doesn't go along with the way that the agency's headed now that her father isn't there. So she's named Tess, but she's not like Little Nobody, Miss Nobody, whatever.
Yeah.
She believes in the legacy that her father set up, which is standing with Dom and standing with the Toretto family, and is fighting for that. Dom knows she has a strong mind and definitely respects that she's gone out of her way to talk to him and wants to build trust. What he asks of Tess is a test. Asks of Tess is a test. That's a tough sentence to say. Like, if it's an impossible task and she can get it done, then that's family for life. So based on how she's describing it, she is like, hey, my dad's gone, but you've always been good to him. I want to help you out.
Yes.
So I don't think she's with Dante, unless like it's a Gina Carano reversal, which I don't think that they would do that twice. Maybe they would. I don't know. I think she's firmly far more good than evil. Yeah.
Okay. But that would make sense that like maybe Dawn's, because like we don't see Mr. Nobody dead, right? Like we just see the like tape here, we see the like panic message and the flashbacks, but they're never like, oh, he's gone forever.
Right. No. I think he's still around.
It would make sense that like Dawn, well, yeah, and then that like ties Dante to Cypher.
I think Dante has to be tied to Cypher somehow, so I think that could be the bridge that, yes.
Yeah, I'm just trying to like place this with the Tess daughter, Mr. Nobody news. I'm trying to figure out where they're trying to go with this before we've seen the movie.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I wish that I had done my thing of like framing this for 10, but I was so weirdly thrown off by not remembering things. I'm just like, I'm just gonna watch this and just like enjoy this as a movie. Who knows? Brain is weird.
It happens.
Montez.
What did you think about this movie?
What do you think?
I was gonna steal it from Joe. You said you have thoughts, so I want to hear the. Like...
I have thoughts. Okay, here's my theory.
This doesn't sound good. This does not sound promising. Your tone of voice is saying that you did not like this movie.
Here's my theory about this whole franchise now.
Okay.
After watching this movie.
Okay.
I am convinced that every movie except for the first movie and Tokyo Drift is just a simulation inside of Roman's mind, who is either dead, in a coma, or in a flux state of living, because he knows that he everything that he says, it's so like meta. I feel like in the 10th one, it's just going to be like the movie's going to pause and he's just going to look straight at the screen and be like, "Hey guys, it's me, Roman. Bet you're wondering how we all ended up here." And then it's just going to be him in a hospital bed somewhere.
I think if that was true, Montez, just to throw a kink into your idea, that Roman wouldn't be as shit on as he gets in the movies.
Maybe he's got really bad self-esteem.
He might have really bad self-esteem?
No, I think he would be like, he would be really, really good. Like, everybody would just be like, "Roman, you're the coolest guy ever all the time." And he'd be like, "I know." And like that's...
Maybe this explains why he's also so hungry, because, he's not really alive. He's asleep. He needs some food. His tummy's empty.
I mean, they feed you when you're in a coma.
I mean, maybe it's not the type of food that he needs. That was my thought after watching this. Also, I felt like I was watching a movie made by the creators of Skyrim, because physics don't work in Skyrim, and magnet physics don't work in this movie.
Well, physics haven't really been super close to reality in most of these movies recently. Like, that's not new here.
No, but the selective magnetics at the end was really...
Oh, sure, yes.
Really getting to me.
So okay, well, I want to save your rankings for next week. If you had to like place this among your favorites, middle, or least favorites, which tier would this kind of go into?
Can I have a what the fuck tier?
I guess it's going to go in there.
Whatever you want.
Yeah.
Why does this hit what the fuck tier? Because of space and stuff, or like something else?
No, out of all of it, sure, the space car, that didn't even like register with me as not being believable. What got to me was the magnets.
Did you know that they went to space?
I already knew they went to space.
Okay. But the magnets, you didn't know about the magnets, and the magnets really threw you for a loop.
The magnets really threw me for a loop. I was also several beverages in by this point, so my brain was just fixated on the fact that the magnets weren't operating.
They're selective.
They're very selective.
They're targeted magnets.
I just kept yelling at the TV, "This is not how magnets work."
Fucking magnets. How do they work?
Fucking magnets.
Montez, I got some either or questions before we get into the actual conversation.
All right.
Very important things. Which hairdo of Cypher, Ms. Charlize Theron, her name is Theron, did a whole podcast better. Her name is Theron. Yeah. We named it Watch the Throne. No. We named it Watch the Throne, and then before we even did the first episode, they're like, "Oh, it's Charlize Theron." I'm just like, shit.
Yeah.
It's Theron. Like Aaron.
Okay.
In Fate of the Fury, she's got the dreads. In 9, she kind of got the Karen cut. Montez, which of those hairstyles do you like more?
I'm going to go with this one because, I rocked this exact same bowl cut when I was in the 2nd grade. My mom
just not a bowl cut.
She put a bowl on my head and just cut it. Literally.
Wow.
That's what somebody did to Charlize's hair in this movie. It's literally just...
It was probably an expensive bowl, though.
It looks like a helmet. Yeah, an expensive bowl.
Yeah, like I want to be clear. This haircut's weird, but this haircut costs more than my like the rest of my life. I won't pay as much money as this haircut would have cost.
No.
Okay, yeah. So you like this one better. Okay.
Just because there's no good answer here. So we're going to go with this one.
Lesser of two evils.
Yes, there we go.
This is one, I don't remember if we still do this. I don't have the column hidden, so I think we probably still do, but maybe not. I don't know. This is a little bit of a thinker, Montez. Which of these people are you more like? Are you more like Owen Shaw, Deckard's brother from 6? Are you more like Mateo, Hobbs' brother from Hobbs and Shaw? Or are you more like Jacob, John Cena from this movie?
Can I be like John Cena? Because I think he's just a national treasure.
Oh, you do like John Cena, though.
Okay.
Honestly, the whole time I'm watching the movie, I was like, can I just go watch Peacemaker?
I've not seen Peacemaker yet. I saw The Suicide Squad, but I've not watched Peacemaker yet.
It's wonderful.
I've heard good things.
Never skip the opening scene.
Okay. I mean, I don't think I would think to skip the opening scene of anything, but I will make sure to not skip the opening scene for this.
I personally just really like John Cena. I think he's hilarious.
You've seen Blockers?
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen Trainwreck, where he plays Amy Schumer's boyfriend for the first scene?
Yep.
I like what is it, Vacation Friends? That was a really good one.
That one was great. I feel like I've seen almost every John Cena movie.
Montez, just one episode ago, when you were on here, you're like, I don't like big muscly men, and the biggest and most muscly man of all, you're like, I love this man. He's a national treasure.
He is a national treasure. He knows how to, he's musically inclined. He likes the kids. Not in that way.
Yeah, no, hopefully not in that way. We don't know, but hopefully not in that way. But he does let him make a wish. Yeah.
He does let him make a wish. He just seems like an all-around nice guy. I'd like to be buds with him. I don't like him like that. I just like to be buddies with him.
Montez, you've seen 10 of these movies now, all 10 that have been released so far. Who is your favorite character in any of the movies? Not the one you most resemble. We're going to do the quiz again on the next episode, but your favorite.
I'm going to say this, and me 8 movies ago never would have said this.
Are you going to say Roman?
I'm going to say Roman.
Wow, man. Okay.
That's unbelievable.
I surprised myself on that one.
Very impressive, to be honest. Very impressive. What about Roman? What was the turning point? What was the tie? What was the shift? What was what tipped the scales for you and Mr. Roman Pierce?
I think it's the fact that he just is he pokes fun at everybody else, and he's like, is no one else understanding, like, this is what's happening? He seems to be more with it than everyone else. Also, can we talk about the love triangle?
It's not really a love triangle because Ramsey does not love either of them, if that's what you're talking about.
No, it's like the weirdest. It's a very weird obsessive triangle. Well, it's a 2-sided triangle. It's a line. Okay. It's a linear line.
Well, it's 2 lines that are not reciprocated. That's just like how Joe was like, right. Dom's harem, and Nico was like, no. This is not a harem. This is not what you thought. No, it was a harem. You said a love triangle also, right? And you're like, no, this is not a love triangle.
I said a tripod.
It's a harem.
Yeah.
Oh, a tripod.
Well, he was talking about Dom and Letty and Elena, and he's like, and Nico was like, no. There's no love between the 2 of them. Like, this is not a triangle. This is not like a throuple. This is just a harem of women that Dom wants to bed.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So it's kind of the reverse. Like, everybody wants to sleep with Ramsey, and she's...
Everybody loves Raymond.
Yeah.
Into it. Yeah. But yeah, do you have specific thoughts about that love sort of triangle? Love not triangle?
I just think it's really funny that she just keeps stringing them along.
I think it's probably amusing to her, like, in a weird way. Like, she's just... I'm sure that it gets annoying, but she seems like she doesn't mind them too much. And it's just like kind of a game, like an extra game for her.
I think there's a very real, I would hope, there's a very real chance. Because at the end of 8, right, when they're on the roof, and she says, yeah, just answer a question. What's my last name?
Yep.
And they're like, it's going to be Carter or whatever, right? Like, it's going to be, I think there's a very real chance that she's just like, no, I'm gay. Like, you've met my girlfriend.
That would be perfect.
Yep.
That we got rid of Suki. That we never gave The Rock. Like when we were, on Hobbs has a male partner. Ramsey just to be like, yeah, like I've always had a girlfriend, you morons. Like here she is, and then she just comes out.
Met her.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, I've thought that too.
So Montez, I'm gonna go back to the Roman thing for a second. Do you think Roman is your favorite because of your headcanon that all these movies exist in his brain? Like, is you thinking this insane theory like making you like him more?
Yeah, I think that, and the fact that like everything that happens to him, like he understands how absolutely insane it is. Like they're driving cars out of a plane. Like he's driving a tank. Like he gets how ridiculous this all is. Everyone else is taking it like really seriously, and he's just like.
Well, hold on, Montez. Did you watch the theatrical or the extended cut? Was it really long or really, really long?
It was just really long.
I think it's actually like 7 minutes because I think this is the speech that they have between him and Tej and Ramsey, where he's talking about them being invincible, is in that version too, right? I think it's in all versions or no?
Yep, yeah. Yes.
Because there's a much longer conversation in that scene where Tej is basically mansplaining technology. Did you see that or no?
I did not see that.
Okay, so then you saw the theatrical cut, which is fine. I do think there's some worthwhile stuff in the longer one. But yeah, there's that scene where like they're giving. I think this goes back to Joe's point. Like they're just shitting on Roman. Like, oh, you think there's a possibility that we're all immortal, or you're just a dumbass, right? Like if this was in Roman's head, that would be some really poor self-esteem if that's how that scene ends.
That's why I always. It's all that shit like that. Like Tej just constantly shitting on Roman. Like can't play out in his head like that. Like Tej would be like a bumbly idiot, and like Roman is the hacker, shooter, driver, fist fighter, everything all at once. Best guy. He would be Dom.
Maybe.
Yeah. So let's pivot to that for a second now. The most Dom moment, because I think Joe in 8, or maybe it was Hobbs, one of the recent ones where you did this, you're like, well, what is the most Dom moment? Because he like iced his brother out. I think this movie in particular really puts a question on like, who is Dominic Toretto? Is he a good guy or is he a bad guy? Is he family or is he not family? Because like the thing that really stood out to me this time was he finally, after decades away from Jacob, finally sees him again. And the first thing he says is, you remember when you killed our dad? It's just like, dude, relax, calm down. You found him again. And the first thing he says is, remember when you killed dad? It's like, guy.
He's a selective magnet.
That's a good point.
Everything gets pulled towards him. He's like gravity.
He's like selective gravity. Magnets. Some things get pulled toward him.
Yeah. Selective family.
The question is, and you can do your most Dom moment here too, but like, is Dom someone to look up to or someone who you just don't want to cross? Like, do people live in fear of Dom?
I think if you know, it's we all have met or know people like this, people that are fiercely loyal but also like very standoffish until you break into their inner circle type situation. Because everybody that like knows Dom from Hector from the beginning is like, this is the fucking dude, okay? But everybody else just knows like rumors about Dom. So I think that if you know him and have had interactions with him and had any kind of tight experience with Dom, he's probably going to take care of you forever and be like the best person to have in your corner. But if you cross him or don't know him, I'm sure he's very scary and very intimidating.
Well, because I think even things he thinks he's doing for the right reason turn out to be kind of dick moves. Like when he just doesn't tell Mia that Jacob's back, when he like keeps her away. Like there's like things he's just doing, like, I'm trying to keep my family safe. It's like, I don't know, maybe like tell her what's going on. Like letting us to fill her in. Like there's things in here that's just like, I get that like you could see this as a good thing, but it's also like, it kind of, it's a strange concept. I don't know. Montez, what do you think? Keep going, Joe.
When their dad dies, Dom has to assume the role of a father, but instantly like goes to prison. he comes back to them kind of not being in a great situation. Like maybe he's like a little disappointed.
Are they
that
not in a great situation? It seems like they're doing pretty fine.
They're doing fine, but yeah, it's weird. I wish this would have been all solved to me if he would have been like, why do you have Mia here at like the races? This isn't a place for a child. And he doesn't do that. He's like, oh, cool, we're all back at the races, but Jacob, get the fuck out. And you're like, okay.
Montez, what do you think of Dom? Yeah, I do. Do you think, did this movie shift your perception of Dom at all, or no?
Yes.
In what
sense?
From
Elaborate.
where to where? Yeah, please.
In the sense that I don't think that he is the good guy that he's been made out to be.
So you're saying the conversation that famously Mia and Brian have in 4, you ever think that you're actually the bad guy trying to be the good guy?
Yeah.
Every day. That's about Dom.
Yeah.
Wow. When I was away at my fantasy baseball draft this weekend, we were flipping through the TV at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and one of the channels that shows these movies had Fast and Furious number 4 on.
Okay.
And my friend was like, you better tell me something insightful about every minute that we watch this movie. And I'm like, well,
we haven't done this minute yet, but
that's what I said. I'm like, we haven't broken this movie down minute by minute yet, but Dom's about to drop an engine block on this guy's head, or almost do it. And then like he did. I'm just like, I know these movies. Like, I know that movie really well. For some reason, I don't know F9 as well, but I'm just like, and then like after like 90 seconds, he's like, I can't watch this anymore. So we went on Raiders, so that's fine. Joe, did you say your most Dom moment? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing?
I didn't. In a weird way, I think that the most Dom moment is when he's like falling down the water tower, and he has these like memories of like his dad, Baby B, like these kind of things. It's all like family, and he kind of uses the power of family to like get himself out of this situation and come out. And I think that like harnessing the power of family to resurrect yourself is probably the most Dom thing you could do.
I mean, there's been like a string of movies in a row where Dom almost dies, right? Like he almost dies in 6, he almost dies in 8, he almost dies in this movie.
Yeah.
He might as well have died in any of them, right? Like, and the rest of this is just a simulation. Like, Montez thinks it's all in Roman's head.
No, but I agree. I was just about to say that too. I was like, if it's anybody, it's that Dom dies, and then like his life plays out that he's still the hero and has a family with Letty.
Maybe this is just a melding of multiple simulations, and the majority of them are all just in a coma.
There's a multiverse. I think that if we really want to play into Montez's theory, what would happen would be in the plane explosion in 6, that's actually when Dom dies. And then from there on out is Dom's like fever dream purgatory mind hole.
There would be, again, to the point that Dante's Inferno, if in the next 2 movies we find out that Dom actually died and these are all of his like challenges and ordeals in purgatory to get to the afterlife, like I know that most people would hate that. I think we would love that.
That would be a wild ass turn. If it's just like an allegory, just like a weird
where he meets God or St. Peter, whoever's at the gates, and it's just like, well, Dom, you might not have realized it, but you died a while ago, and we've been testing you these last few years, and
he fights St. Peter, or no, St. Gabriel, he
doesn't fight him. They race.
So he races St. Gabriel, and then he becomes the like head archangel that like protects heaven from hell. And
Jesse's up there, and he's tuning Gabriel's car.
No, he'd have to be like, Dom, I got a special like angel nos for you, and he has like like the really good stuff. He's like, they don't have this on Earth yet.
Heaven nos,
exactly.
So, Joe, your most Dom moment is him willing himself back to life through the power of family.
Yes, yeah. I think that's pretty, like, I don't think you can get much more Dom than that.
Because I do think that, like, things like that, like, where he basically is like, I'm going to sacrifice himself to save everybody, and then somehow he still lives, like, these movies only make sense if he's been dead the whole time.
They only make sense if he's been dead the whole time?
Kind of.
It's hard to argue against.
Montez, what's your most Dom moment?
My most Dom moment.
I want to cut that off because I want collectively our stance on this podcast to be Dom has been dead the whole time.
I see dead people.
I'm here.
That's what we need to fucking add to these movies, by the way.
Haley Joel?
Yes. Haley Joel comes in, and Dom realizes that Haley Joel can't see him, and that's how he knows he's dead. It's a twist. It's a twist.
All right, we got to move on from that because that makes even less sense of what we've been talking about. Montez, what's your most Dom moment?
I put that my most Dom moment was Queenie's driving the car.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
That interaction, or just Queenie?
Yeah,
doing...
their interaction while she's driving the car.
Okay, not the act of her driving a car.
Oh no, not just the fact that she's driving. Yes, the fact that she's driving and they're in the car and she's like giving him a talking to.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay,
that's just what I
Montez,
wrote down.
do you not like this show?
Vibes, just vibes.
Listen, I love you guys. I love this podcast.
Are you tired of these movies?
They're all the same movie.
They're not the same movie.
In my brain, they are starting to become the same movie.
That is true and happens a lot.
Yeah. I think it's hard too because when I was watching this one, I mean like I said, like the shift of like who Dom really is like happened. So like now I'm questioning like,
is he alive? Has he been dead the whole time?
No, I'm questioning whether or not he's actually a bad guy. I stand behind everybody's dead and all of this is a simulation.
Okay. In Roman's head. It's a Jacob's Ladder scenario.
And Jacob showed up in this movie. And there we go.
Oh my god. Look, we got Jacob and Jacob's Ladder. We got Dante and Dante's Inferno.
Oh my god.
Tess of the D'Urbervilles. Thomas Hardy up in this bitch.
Here we go.
We need Bob in here. I mean, Shred's in here to talk about this. So my most Dom moment, I have two. I have two on different ends of the spectrum. I think what I mentioned before, keeping Mia in the dark in an effort to protect her, is kind of a Dom moment in that, like, I know better than everyone else. I'm not going to consult anybody for their advice. I'm going to do what it takes to protect my family, which is both kind of good and bad, but also very Dom. Or, at the end, when it gives Jacob the 10-second car, I think it was a pretty Dom moment.
Yeah, that's way, yeah. He's literally done that before. Or, well, he's had it happen to him. So, I guess maybe that's the most Brian moment?
It would be the most Brian moment for sure. Or Brian moment when he actually pulls in. Montez, what do you think of the end when Brian, quote-unquote, Brian pulls into the barbecue?
Sad it wasn't a minivan.
Well, it had to be his Skyline so that you know that it's him, but yes.
I did appreciate the callback that, you know, they were saving a place for him at dinner. I did think that was a nice touch.
Do you think, I thought it was funny this time when they just hear a car, and I know it's like it's a tuner, but like they hear a car like a quarter mile away and they all turn to look, they're like, I know who that is.
Yeah.
Dude, you can't do that? Like, I know exactly like if my friends are pulling up based on like what their exhaust sounds like.
Yeah, no, I can't do that. That's the thing that crazy people do.
I mean, I can do that. Like,
especially if it's loud, you know what I mean? Or something like weird. You'd be like, oh shit, that's probably Brian. You know what I mean? Like,
there's this one weird car in my neighborhood that I can hear it at the top of the street before I even see it. And I know it's this one dumbass electric car that I can't stand what it sounds like. And I can hear it at the top of the street. And I know that person's coming down the street. I don't know who it is. I don't know who drives the car. Don't know which one of my neighbors it is. But I hate how their car sounds.
Okay, fair. Montez, where do you want to start? Who gets the fuck in this movie?
Didn't write that one down.
I don't remember. I don't
know. I don't know that there is one.
Okay.
I know that they say frickin' a lot. Like, I'm Luke frickin' Skywalker.
Yes, yeah.
I don't know if there is a fuck.
Is there anybody from either... So now that I was thinking about this when, you know, we talked about all of the Game of Thrones shits, right? And Jason Momoa is joining, and we have Ramsey, who was in Game of Thrones, so now we know that they know that Ramsey was in Game of Thrones, or how does that work? Is there anybody from Star Wars, Mandalorian, any of those in the Fast and the Furious? Because if they reference Star Wars like 50 times... I was trying to think, and I was
like... Is Han? I think Sung Kang is in some kind of Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's in like a newer thing, like a TV thing. Oh, no, he was in Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Okay, yes. Okay, so
He played
Han
the
was
fifth
in
brother.
Star Wars, and they know Star Wars here.
Uh-huh.
That's just fucking wild.
That's why all of this is just a simulation.
Well, yeah, because Montez, we were talking, like Joe just mentioned, that we were like, oh, they're bringing Momoa. Maybe I think it was with you. They were bringing Momoa in, but
no, it was we were talking with
no, because I think we were talking about with Hobbs and Shaw with Montez. We're like, what do you think of the Game of Thrones things? And we're like, oh, Momoa was in there, but like Natalie Emmanuel was in Game of Thrones as well as Missandei, right? So like we missed that, but yeah. So Sung Kang has been in 4 episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm sure there are others too.
I'm sure, right? Like more background, but I was thinking like, has anybody that's kind of bigger in the Fastiverse crossover? So yeah, Sung Kang would be the biggest, I guess.
Yeah, I just Googled actors in Fast and Furious and Star Wars, and it's all about Sung Kang. So it might only be him. Montez, how many quadrants you got for us tonight?
I still wrote them all down.
Okay.
Love, hate, fuck, Dom, other thoughts.
Fuck Dom. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Things you
love. Where do you want to start? Hit us.
Like I said, I really like the flashback. I really like the flashback at the beginning. I like being able to go back and see what was going on. Although
cool.
I was wondering why the kid from Peaky Blinders was there as the brother.
Oh, you know what I thought when we were watching the flashback and young Jacob this time, Joey?
What?
If this movie was actually shot like as the first movie with this background story, you know who young Jacob would have been?
Ooh.
It's right in your face.
Is it Zeph?
No, Chan.
Oh, close. Well, okay.
I think that he would have had like a similar look. I think he could have played a younger Cena. Like, obviously not Channing now playing a younger guy, and then he morphs into Cena. But I think like a young Channing could have been a Toretto and became John Cena later.
You see, the issue, like, what I overthought it, although, you know, I was in the ballpark, I think.
Yeah, you were close.
Like,
close.
Montez, I don't know if you realized, but they're like 1989. And we know canonically from the first movie that all the characters were like, well, Mia was like 18, and everybody else was like 23, 24, like we've done the math. So that was in 2001. And they actually forwarded to 2004 when they kind of reset the timeline. So they're saying 15 years earlier from when Mia was 18, or even if you like fast forward 2 years when Dom was in prison. So it's like 13 years earlier from when Mia was 18, Mia was 16.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
When the movie started, you might have heard this. I don't remember if you heard us talk about, I don't know when you stopped listening to the podcast, if we got to F9 or not, but like we're in the theaters and they showed 1989 and like immediately I turned to Joe, I'm just like, the math is all wrong. Like it's immediately, and like no one seemed to notice. Like if they said that all in 1999, it would have been fine. But the fact that they said it in 1989, it's insane. So I think I overthought it and I was just like, well, is this like movie logic when it's 1989? Like how old, like is a young Jacob like 25? Is a young Jacob like 15? Like is a young, like I did.
I'm saying like a 20-year-old Channing.
You're saying like a broad-chested, sweet, kind of dumb, muscly dude.
Yes, could later become a super muscly dude that is now like a retired pro wrestler.
They're both G.I. Joe, maybe?
Were they both G.I.
Joe?
Wasn't he?
Oh, the Tom Holland and John Cena reportedly eyed for a new G.I. Joe movie, which, so no, not, I don't know, but no. I don't know.
I mean, listen, math is really hard.
It's not. It's literally the simplest thing when you're talking about ages and timelines. This franchise has not been very good with timelines, though. So, whatever. It is what it is. Anyway, keep going, Montez.
Okay. So I enjoyed the flashback. I liked learning more about, I did think it was really funny. So in the flashback, you see like his dad dies on the track. And then at the end, when he takes
super funny when people's dads die in car crashes. Super funny, Montez.
When he takes him to the track and he's like, everything I learned about life was here. I have a lot of good memories, and it's like my
this
dad.
Is where your dad died. That's a good point.
Well, he also does say like, "This is the last place I saw your dad." It's like, or I saw your grandfather. It's like, yeah, like when he was burning alive in the car crash. Like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, I feel like that was a real traumatic experience, when
But you
baby
have
Brian
good memories there too. I get the other side of that. That like he's like,
Yes.
hey, I got to spend a ton of time with my dad here, and like I have like I'm sure that it's both, right? You get a little bit of
Yes,
each.
it is both. I did enjoy the music. I'm glad that we still had the butts back in the day butts.
Yes.
Yep. Early 90s butts, apparently.
Early 90s butts or late 80s butts. No, that was 90s butts.
Yeah, because it starts at 89
Also,
and he spends like 2 years in jail.
He was in prison for like 5 minutes.
Well, he was in prison long enough to meet Rico and Tego, Leon Santos.
Okay,
do we know how long it was? Like, actually, was it 2 years? 2 years.
I think they say 2 years.
Yeah, it felt like 5 minutes. It felt like nothing changed. Everybody was still exactly the same.
Well, I think Jacob develops confidence.
Yes.
Yes, because he's no longer living in his brother's shadow.
As the shitbag, like what is Kenny Linder call him? He's like, oh, you're the dumb Toretto, or like something like really aggressively stupid. He's like, yeah, you're the useless Toretto, or something.
Now, Montez, as someone who has cared so passionately about these Fast and Furious movies, when they said the name Kenny Linder, you're like, I know exactly who that is, right?
No.
Montez.
No.
Do you remember in the first movie when they're in the police house and Sergeant
the one
Tanner?
with the
You
really
remember Sergeant
dirty
Tanner,
TV,
right?
with the really dirty television.
Pat's top of microwave.
In the first one?
In the first movie, they're in the police house.
Yeah.
The hideaway house, like Ann Taylor's house, right?
Not Ann Taylor.
Elizabeth Taylor's house. Sorry.
Ann Taylor.
Ann
Yeah,
Taylor's
not Ann Taylor
designer,
Loft.
right?
They're at
For,
Elizabeth
like,
Taylor's house. It's
affordable women's clothes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Ann Taylor Loft. So they're in Ann Taylor's house, and they're like, I think Brian is getting too in with his family, and they show pictures of the guy that Dom beat half to death with the wrench. That was Kenny Linder. So in this movie, when they're like Kenny Linder, we're like, oh shit, we know what's coming. And you picked up on that, right?
They didn't make it look as bad with the wrench thing as it could have been. You know, because like they showed the pictures of Kenny Linder in the first movie, and he got like really whacked. And this looks like the dude swings at him, and Dom is just like kind of holding the wrench that he took from Jacob, and just is like self-defense, not that he just like beat the shit out of him with a wrench.
What did you guys think when Earl says, "This isn't Top Gun, Maverick"?
I did catch that this time.
I mean, I know why he's saying it. I know why they named the new movie what they did, but like, he literally says the name of the movie.
Yes.
Which should have been out by now. Like, it was supposed to come out, like, I think in 2019 or 2020. It was like a while ago, and then it just kept getting delayed, but because of COVID. But it's funny to be like, this isn't Top Gun Maverick, but I'm like, is it Top Gun Maverick? Different punctuation?
There's a comma. This isn't
Well,
Top
there was
Gun.
a comma, but what if there was a colon?
I think that would be interesting. So, dude, they've just been watching a ton of movies. I want to know when they have all this free time. We never see them watching movies. And they've been all watching a ton of movies lately.
They watched the Rob Cohen movie in the first one.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yes, you're right. We did see them watching a movie once. That's right. They were watching Bruce Lee or whatever. That's absolutely right. I forgot about that.
Do you think the Tokyo Drift boys will return for 10?
I don't think we have space.
Do you think that Elle will return for 10?
Yes.
I don't think she's listed on IMDb, but I feel like it would be weird if she's not there.
I think that they can't get away with shelving women for much longer.
Yeah, but, you know, they don't have
a lot more. Well, it's almost over now.
Yeah, they don't have a lot more time to like face criticism. It's like, well, we're done.
Yeah, and they added Brie Larson, and they added the other lady. I forget her name.
Daniela Melchior. One day you'll remember it.
Whenever we see the movie and they give me her character name, I'll hopefully remember from there. But yes.
Well, she's currently playing Brazilian Street Racer.
Oh no, she'll have a name hopefully.
I know, but IMDb she's currently credited as Brazilian Street Racer.
That works for me.
Can we talk about how the Tokyo crew, the Tokyo boys, it's basically like Revenge of the Nerds?
Oh, yeah. No, I never thought about that, but yeah.
Like, how did that happen? What the heck's his name? How did the top of his head just, like, grow taller? Like, his head just got bigger. Yeah.
It's the hairpiece that he has to wear to make it through the movie and not look like he's 45 years older.
It didn't help. He still looks like he's 80 years old.
Yeah, he was in high school like 8 years ago. Not really, but close.
Yeah, the whole Revenge of the Nerds thing.
Wait, no, he was in high school like 8 years ago, because this movie came out in 2021. Tokyo Drift takes place after 6, or during 6, which is 2013. Yeah, that guy was in high school 8 years ago.
Yeah, ain't no fucking way.
You know? Math, once again, math.
Tell me how that guy, well, I guess it's not his invention, creates something that gets a car into space.
I mean, he just puts a rocket on a car.
Yeah, that wasn't like that's not like really an invention. I think that's more of like a combination.
I feel like what they do in this movie to get the car in space is like what Buzz Lightyear does. Is like, I'm not flying, I'm falling with style. It's just like, we're going to put a car up there and we're just going to send it up and it's going to slowly come down. But like, it's going to do some stuff when it's up there.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
that makes sense.
What did you think of, did you see the credit scene?
I didn't watch the credit scene.
Oh, Montez.
Did I watch the credit scene?
Do you want us to tell you it?
Yeah, tell me.
What is it? Like, you're in a warehouse and you're hanging. What?
Oh yeah. That was Jason. Was it Jason?
Okay,
Statham?
good. There you go. Okay, so you did watch it.
Yeah, I did watch it.
What did you think?
And then Han shows up.
Yeah.
Because this entire movie, if you'll remember, was billed as Justice is Coming.
Yeah.
And there was no justice. There's still no justice.
Definitely
justice did not come.
At least, yeah, no.
Yeah.
But in the trailer for 10, which I know that you watched, they seem buddy sort of. So, like, thoughts?
You know, maybe Han's the bigger man, and he's let bygones be bygones.
Is there a possibility that Shaw, Han, and Mr. Nobody were in on it together?
Han, Shaw, and Mr. Nobody. Yeah, I mean, sure, why not?
Yeah.
And like that's why there's like really no justice needed, because
it already makes no sense. Like what they're doing. Like, if they make it more complicated, more convoluted, they add more people to the conspiracy. Like, sure, why not?
Yeah, fuck it.
The more people that get added, they're just the doctors and nurses coming in to take care of them.
Oh, part of the fever dream. I like it.
I'm just thinking about Jacob's Ladder and Dante's Inferno. This is pretty good. Okay, Montez, keep going.
You're not going to believe this.
What?
Let's see into my notes.
Perfect.
Montez, you say you're not going to believe this. That is the least shocking thing you could possibly have said.
Yes, I agree. Did you hate anything about this movie? Did we talk about anything that you hated besides just like...
The magnets really got to me, and I think it's just because I had so many drinks by this point that I was just like hyper fixated on the magnets. Other than that, the movie was just so absolutely absurd that I had fun.
Like more absurd than other movies, you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think this one really kind of just... And the graphics. Okay, some of this... And maybe it's just because I was watching it on Michael's monstrosity of a television, but some of the graphics, I felt like I was watching the shitty Wolverine movie from like years ago, where you knew... It's like they had some kid in their mom's basement. They just couldn't afford to have somebody do nice visual graphics.
Montez, this movie cost like $230 million.
Yeah. They had the best CGI team you can imagine.
And Fast 10 is going to cost $300 million or something like that. Like,
now listen, that money did not go into CGI. I can tell you. It went to snacks. It went to
badly
snacks.
Paid, but
yes, yeah.
It definitely went into CGI.
Other than, I mean, I didn't hate this movie.
Do you want John Cena back?
Yeah.
Well, he's coming back.
I'd prefer more John Cena over Jason Momoa. I'm just not I don't know. I don't have a hard-on for Jason Momoa like most people.
Well, he served different purposes in the franchise and in movies and in real life.
Montez, she says she likes classic muscly men. American muscly men.
That's a weird way of saying white.
Yeah.
Montez, out as a racist.
Listen, I can't be. I'm Hispanic.
Your name is not really Montez. There was a Patreon episode recently where we said something. It's Scarface. We were talking about Hispanic people. I was looking through the list. And I'm like, Montez. Montez is not Hispanic.
Her name.
Montez is not. That's not actually her name. She is very white.
Yeah.
No, but I legitimately am Hispanic.
Anyway, speaking of that,
Good job. Nice
Wilson.
segue.
Shout out to Cassie Wilson, Ben Milliman, Nick Burris, Alex Ellen, and Justin Kleiman, Brian Rodriguez of High School Slumber Party, Wes Hampton, Jerry Robinson, Dan the Duke, Hayden Renato, D. Donato, Michael McGann, Lane Middleton, Lindsay Lewandowski, Nate Milton of the Kings of Sport, Jason Rainey, Tom Price, Mike Gallier, Josh Buckley of Whole Lot of Wolves, Michael Moser, and Jessica Collins, a.k.a. Montez. Thank you all for supporting us at the $5 a month level or above. TooFastTooForever.com for early access, bonus episodes, all that sort of stuff. And the store now at cageclub.me/shop. Go there for our store. Montez, any other thoughts, any other notes?
I'm sad that it's the end.
Well, we have 17 seasons of Spy Racers we could watch if you really want.
I don't want to.
I mean, it's just there if we want.
Montez, you just have to come back for non-Fast and Furious movies. You're going to have to come back for Fast 10 Fifth Gear, which we're going to do in mid-June, so you'll be back for that.
Perfect.
That's cool. We're gonna be 5 deep by June.
Well,
didn't we talk about this, Joey?
We're doing a bonus one we're not going to watch the movie every time.
Okay.
We're doing like a bonus. The plan right now is to do a bonus Fast 10 every week.
Okay.
So that we can just record a bunch and release them without us having to see a movie every time.
Okay.
So one viewing for us will cover like 2 or 3 episodes.
Okay.
I'm trying to do this in a way that we can talk to everybody without killing ourselves.
That's a good idea.
The only goal that I have is to not watch this movie 6 times in theaters. Maybe it's good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's probably for the best.
All right, it's time to play This Ain't No 10-Second Race, a.k.a. Boy Do We Have a Podcast for You. This is where we go on Mr. Tweets, twitter.com, and see if it's, number 1, still functioning as a website, and number 2, respond to people who might like these movies and this podcast.
Boy, do we have a podcast for you. Come and check out our show. Yeah.
So last episode, I found Puss in Booty Shorts at Sean DeHay, who had a whole thread about watching these movies. And they said, I don't know why it took me so long to realize that the precedent's already been set. It would be 2 Hobbses, 2 Shaws. Talking about sequels to Hobbs and Shaw. We said, this is perfect. We co-sign. Also, the fact that you returned to this tweet 6 months later means you're hashtag family. Boy, do we have a podcast for you. Of course not. Why would someone who does a 12 tweet long thread about Fast and Furious be interested in the Fast and Furious podcast? Why would they ever care? Joe, you found Jody at some, I don't know what the symbol is. It's their pronouns, but I don't know what that symbol is. I don't know how to pronounce it. At Nevermind Jody. So part of me is sad, they say. I didn't get into the Fast and Furious films back in the day because it would have been really fun to see them in theaters, but if I had, I probably wouldn't be able to enjoy something as fucking ridiculous as Hobbs and Shaw. We said it is never too late to join the family. We're glad you're on board. Boy, do we have a podcast for you. And Joe, I think we learned last time, you got 1 point. Jody liked your tweet.
Awesome. There you go. Back in the lead, I think.
You've been in the lead. You've never not been in the lead. You're at 79 points.
You were creeping up somehow.
I was. Montez, you found Nope at SAC216. Hobbs and Shaw should get minimum 5 sequels. We said as long as they follow these standards, so easy to follow, naming conventions, we're in, like a prequel, the Hobbs and the Shaw. Boy, do we have a podcast for you. No, why would they care? All right, Montez sent me a tweet. I have a tweet. Joe, do you find a tweet yet?
Yeah, I actually have 3, and I'm trying to pick which one I think would be the best, and I actually think it would be this one. But go ahead. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go first.
Okay, this is a tweet from at KillDJKill. It's DJ at KillDJKill. And they say, they just played a trailer for Fast X, and oh my god, I'm so excited. I want to say, as a fan of Fast and the Furious, and this person loves like wrestling, I want to kind of like bring in The Rock or wrestling to like really reel them in.
Say rail them in? Was that Pittsburgh, or are you talking about railing this person?
No, I meant real, and I was just like looking through their wrestling tweets. I like, how can we like, suck them in with like, Nate was just on, he's in post wrestling type situation. Come on, like make it like really enticing for Kill DJ Kill. Man, No, Momoa wasn't a wrestler. I was gonna throw a little wrestling thing in there. Like, we can't wait for John Cena, the famous wrestler, to come back in Fast 10. Boy, do we have a podcast for you. Something along. What? Come on, help me out here. You trying to purposely sabotage this?
I don't want you to get points. If you get points, I'm never going to catch up.
Oh God, come on, man. It will be like, oh, I can't hit a good one that like combines wrestling and points out that Nate from Post Wrestling be like, yeah, we were so hype. We just watched season 3 of Young Rock to get ready for it. What? Boy, do we have a podcast for you.
Sure.
Just a little wrestling teaser in there. They have like wrestling everywhere. DJ Kill DJ
right.
Kill has like wrestling fucking everywhere.
Montez, hit us with your tweet from a fellow Jess.
Yeah, so mine is from Not Jess is 23 at It's Not Jess 123. I know I said I wouldn't watch 9 Fast and Furious movies just because Brie Larson is in the 10th one, but I think I'm going to watch 9 Fast and Furious movies just because Brie Larson is in the 10th one. Honestly, I just want to say, boy, do we have a podcast for you.
No customization.
Unless you guys can think of something snappy.
Captain Marvel in Fast and the Furious, we're with you. Boy, do we have a podcast for you.
Montez, you want that or you want yours?
We'll go with what Joe 2 says.
Joe, say it one more time.
Hopefully it's not as depressing as The Room was. Boy, do we have a podcast. No, I said Captain Marvel in Fast and the Furious in the Fast and the Furious franchise. Wow. Boy, do we have a podcast for you.
That makes it sound like we did know she was in the movies.
I'm trying to get anything to get points here. I'm going with like some kind of bait today. That's what I'm trying. I'm trying a bait tactic to rail them in.
Rail them in?
That was on purpose that time.
Yeah. We love
First time was
that
not.
Captain Marvel is now in the Fast and Furious franchise.
There we go.
I found La Negra at Abondance King on Twitter. Quote tweeting Pop Culture 2000s. Just putting a picture of Suki sitting on her car.
Oh.
And La Negra says, why she never come back? Because in 10 movies, she's the most iconic character of your franchise. At Vin Diesel. #FastX.
I hope Vin responds to you. What are you going to say?
All we want. I say this every time. All we want is for Suki to come back.
That's perfect. They need to have a cameo like that. They're really fucking blowing it by not bringing Suki back. I get like the Earl and like the Sean thing. That was cool. But like, come on, man. They could have some deep cuts. Who do you think we're going to get back from 5? If this is a 5-centric movie, who do we actually get back from 5?
You know who we need back? Is Giselle.
Yeah.
Who would we actually get back from 5? Like, the thing is that, like, the people from 5, like, there's no villains. Like, all the villains die. And all the family is still there.
It's not going to be... It's Vince.
Vince is dead.
Yeah, well...
No, Vince
it's not like it stopped him before.
Vince is, like, bleeding out in the back of that truck.
Mr. Nobody fixed him up in the background, and now we're good. He's been hanging out with Mr. Nobody and Han for, like, the past 6 movies. Tell me he wouldn't cash that check if they were like, yo, we got an idea.
We know that your mom is very sick in the hospital. Wait, that's your character.
They wouldn't have remembered that, trust me. They would not have remembered that.
Montez, I'm going to leave this up to you because we are close enough to time. Do you want to play the car guessing game or no?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Montez is on my team, Joe. She chose to be on my team, on the side of good, not evil.
Okay.
Dude, what? My car. What? Your car, dude.
This is from Michael Moser, car pick. Hey guys, here's a car pick for you. It's my daily driver. So this is what he drives every day.
Oh, okay.
The color is called Galactic Aqua. So he says
Galactic Aqua. Ooh.
The color is important. It's dark blue, green, or black, depending on how the light hits it.
Okay.
Joe, it is a Japanese car. The color, Galactic Aqua.
Is it a Scion?
It is not a Scion. Montez, please give some clues.
It's a 4-door.
Okay.
That's one. I asked for clues, plural.
It has headlights.
Describe the headlights, Montez. Joe, I feel like somehow we found someone who knows less about cars than I do. Even though Montez has grown up in garages.
Worked in a garage. Was put into
And I
tires.
work in a garage.
Flavor
Flav.
Getting bullied into stacks of tires, and yet describing a car, 4 doors, headlights.
Listen, it was just a Can't Hardly Wait reference.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how to describe these headlights. They're slim. I don't know.
Galactic Aqua.
It's a new car, came out. It's a 2021 model.
Okay.
The headlights are slim, to use Montez's vague description. They are sort of low profile, extending sideways, more like rectangular, sort of parallelogram style than like more round.
Okay.
I will say my car is American because I buy American. But the antenna, the radio antenna, is the same kind of like little like shark's fin on top of the back.
Yeah, nubby on the top.
Yep. It seems like a kind of thin car. It's got dual exhaust on both sides.
Is it a Honda Civic?
It is not, but you're not close, but you're not far off.
Is it no, Hyundai is not Japanese.
It's not a Hyundai. I don't know where Hyundai. I think it's Korean.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So is it a Honda?
No.
I'm not far off. Is it a Toyota Corolla?
You're much closer, but you're still not right.
Toyota Camry.
Yes, but the specific model you have not yet guessed.
Oh.
I would imagine that like a 4 exhaust Camry is not common.
I don't think Toyota has like a wacky edition of the Camry, does it? Like, is it like a
Bro,
Camry
you are asking the wrong
GR? TRD? Camry TRD? Or is it just like SELE XL?
I guess it's a hybrid.
Okay.
It is the XSE.
Okay, yeah. These are just like the steps in the thing. Actually, my buddy's looking at the new Toyota GR, which is actually really fucking cool. Have you seen this yet? I keep getting ads for it on Facebook too.
Why? You've known me for 15 years, 20 years, almost 20 years. Why would you think that I would ever, number one, see a thing about a new car, number two, remember a thing about a new car, or number three, care about a new car?
I don't know, man. GR86, this thing. Check this thing out. It is like a different edition of the Corolla, but here. I think it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a Mazda.
It kind of looks like a Mazda.
See, I know cars!
There you go. You did good, bud. I honestly think it kind of looks like a little bit like a Porsche Cayman, too. I think they stole some of the styling from that, which I kind of like. Like the front and the sides, like from that one panel, and the way the lights go. I think this thing's really cool. I think the Camry in Galactic Green Hybrid XSE is probably cooler, though.
Yeah, I just sent you the pictures if you want to check it out. But thank you, Michael Moser, for sending that in. That is the last car picture that we have, I believe, which is fine because I don't know. I think in a normal episode where we're not doing a full lap with somebody and we're talking about all their history of the franchise, we're not going to have time for it. But we are officially, finally, for once, caught up. If you want to send it in, we'll do more in the future. I just don't know when that will be. But if you want to send car pictures in, family@cageclub.me, email them in.
We'll get to them eventually.
We'll get to them eventually.
Yeah.
Speaking of getting things eventually, Montez, you have finally, eventually finished the franchise. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'd
and
never
you're
thought
driving up to New York to watch the movie with us, right, Fast 10?
Am I?
I mean...
Good. You're welcome to.
I think you should.
Invited.
When does it come out? I don't even know when it comes out.
May 19th.
I gotta be in New York anyway, in June.
Well, we're not really seeing it in New York. We're seeing it in New York State. We're seeing it on Thursday, May 18th.
Yeah.
It's a long drive.
Montez. It's family.
How about we just FaceTime you in?
No, well, you could. Yeah, we'll just FaceTime Montez in from the theater.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. That won't bother anybody.
Montez, you take the train up to DC and you get Michael to drive you.
Or he and I could just both take the train.
And look, okay, here's the thing I'm only going to offer to you two. If you make it, I will pay for your tickets.
Oh.
He and I did just talk this past weekend about seeing this in the theater.
Those are $21 tickets.
Yeah, that's...
In New York, yeah, they're fucking expensive.
These are stupidly expensive. IMAX in New York State. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Montez, we have 2 extra tickets right now. We bought like 10. We have 8 people going. Just throwing it out there.
He'll be at my house tomorrow. I'll run it by him.
Pitch it well, though. Don't do this like, I'm just gonna, boy, do I have a ticket for you. You need to like sell it. Add some bait.
All right.
I mean, he'll also hear this conversation. I mean, after, but still.
Yeah.
You have not yet plugged a single thing on this lap. Is there anything you want to plug tonight or no?
I got nothing.
Okay.
I got nothing. I don't do anything.
You read any good books this year?
I actually just finished one today. I was listening to an audiobook. Actually, no. I just finished 2 audiobooks. I just finished The Priory of the Orange Tree.
Do you listen to like one in the right ear and one in the left ear so you can listen to them at the same time?
No, I finished that one yesterday. It was 29 hours. It was good. It was more like an epic fantasy novel.
Okay.
Kind of like dragons and stuff.
Cool.
That one was pretty good. Today I listened to, it was called Anatomy.
Okay.
It was kind of gross.
You're not really selling these books, Montez. You're just saying titles of things.
Yeah, I am. Well, so the one I listened to today, it was if you're squeamish, maybe don't read it or listen to it. It was pretty graphic descriptions of people getting dissected back in the 1800s-ish.
Sounds fun.
Okay.
It was a good book. Other than that, I haven't really read a whole lot of nice, good books this year. I do have a Final Fantasy VII book sitting on my counter right now for me to read next.
Hashtag nerd alert.
Yep. So there's that.
Cool. Well, like this whole lap, Montez, going out with a whimper, not with a bang. So thank you for joining us once again.
Thank you.
Our next episode is a Patreon bonus episode doing A Man Apart. That is Nick Burris' patron pick, the Vin Diesel movie A Man Apart. We also got a bonus episode coming out next week sometime, Young Rock Season 3. We mentioned that earlier. We recorded that one with Nate Milton. That'll be out soon.
It was a good episode. Nate's always a great guest, as you guys know. So we talked a lot about Young Rock, about the Rock, what Young Rock is about.
Our next episode after that is Babylon AD, then our Life in the Fast Lane number 10, and then our tune-up with some bonus stuff that Montez is going to join us once again for. So we got a lot of things coming up. We got 2 bonus episodes. We got the Man Apart, and we got Young Rock Season 3, Babylon AD, Life in the Fast Lane, and then our tune-up. So we got, and then the lap is going to continue for a couple more months because we're going to do Fast 10 stuff in there too. But lots of good stuff coming up soon, so stay tuned. But for all things Too Fast, Too Forever, go to cageclub.me, facebook.com/TooFast2Forever, or at TooFast2Forever on Twitter and Instagram. Email us, family@cageclub.me. Check out our Patreon page at TooFast2Forever.com and our store at cageclub.me/shop. And come back next time for, I don't know, one of the things I just said. I don't know the order these are coming out. It's magic. Who knows? I'm Joey Lewandowski.
I'm Joe too.
And that was Jessica Collins, a.k.a. Montez. And we will tell you all about it
when we see you